Well, I hope you're as excited as I am to make a moist and delicious chocolate chip banana bread that we don't have to feel guilty about eating. I'm going to show you how to make it moist and flavorful with your own home ground oat flour. It's also anti-inflammatory and easily digestible. And it's naturally sweetened with maple syrup and the ripe bananas. Consider yourself warned, because at the end of this video, I'm going to show you a sugar comparison between a traditional chocolate chip banana bread and my recipe. We're going to begin by prepping our bread pan, and I find it works best to line it with parchment paper. So I'm going to quickly fold up one edge, place my pan on top, score the other side, fold it down on my little score line, flip it upside down, scoosh it down into my bread pan, crease the inside edges, fold it up and over with a crease, up and over with a crease, and then give it a quick spray with non-stick. And now our pan's ready to go, and we'll have these convenient handles to lift our bread out of the pan. Now I'm going to show you how to grind your own oat flour, and I'm using my NutriBullet, and I just filled the cup to the max fill line with some oats. And then you just screw on the lid that has the blade inside, screw it down on, only 6 seconds, and you now have your own ground oat flour. Now we're going to take a medium-sized mixing bowl, and we're going to start with our wet ingredients. And first we'll start with the star of this bread, which of course is our bananas. And you want them to be ripe, which means they have lots of spots and some brown on them. That just means they're even sweeter on the inside. Now you could mash these with a fork on a plate, or if you're feeling a little bit lazy like me, you can go ahead and drop them right into your mixing bowl. And then we'll begin adding some more of our wet ingredients. We're going to add 1/3 cup of maple syrup, which is another natural sweetener. We're going to add 1/3 cup of oil, and my favorite is extra light olive oil. Then we're going to add 1/4 cup of Greek yogurt. Next we'll add 1½ teaspoons of vanilla for flavor. And an additional ingredient I love to add is just 1/4 teaspoon of almond extract. And I'm just going to use the lid to measure it out, 1/4 teaspoon. Close enough. And this just adds a little more flavor and a really good aroma. Now before adding our eggs, we're going to go ahead and mix this together. And I'm going to use my immersion blender with the attachment for blending, and then just going to put this down inside, put it at a low speed, and then I'm just going to quickly mash these bananas and all these ingredients together. I love using my immersion blender because it's just really quick, and then I know I'm not going to have any banana chunks in my bread. Now we'll go ahead and add our eggs to the mixture. And I added those after we mixed down our bananas because I don't want them mixed as vigorously. So now I'm going to use my whisk attachment to my stick blender. And I included a link in the description below if you'd like to check it out. Now I'll just turn it again to a low speed, and we'll just gently mix this until the eggs are incorporated. Now we can add our dry ingredients. So we're going to take our oat flour. I'm going to pour in 2 cups of oat flour. So we'll add our 2 cups of oat flour. And then in our white trio, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and then I'm also adding 1 teaspoon of cinnamon for additional flavor. And now we'll just mix this gently until the ingredients are incorporated. We do not want to overmix our batter. Now we can add in the second star of our show, which is our chocolate chips. And I'm going to empty in almost all of 1/3 of a cup. I'm going to reserve a few to be able to sprinkle on top. And then now I'm just going to use the spatula and just gently fold those into the batter. That smells so good. All right, so now we'll go ahead and take our prepared bread pan and pour in our batter. Use our spatula and make sure we get all of the batter out of our bowl. And I love using this glass batter bowl because it has this nice convenient handle on it. And I prefer to not use plastic bowls, just to have the least amount of plastic in my kitchen. All right, we'll give that a little jiggle. And now we'll take our remaining chocolate chips and just generously sprinkle those on top. And we definitely eat with our eyes, so this gives us a fun indicator of what we're going to taste inside this delicious banana bread. And nothing goes together better than chocolate and bananas. Now we're going to put this into a 350-degree oven for 40 minutes or until a toothpick comes out dry. This looks so amazing and I am so excited to try it. So we'll get our cutting board here and then we'll gently lift our bread up and out of our bread pan with our parchment paper handles. Get our knife and we like to cut off just the very toasted end of the bread so that we can go right in and get those very moist, chocolatey inside pieces. Oh, that looks so delicious. Check that out. You see the chocolate chips are generously distributed throughout the slice, and it's just really moist and flexible. And I can smell the banana and just a little bit of that almond extract as well as the chocolate. Look how beautiful that pulls apart. Oh, yum. All right, here we go. That is so good. Sorry if I still have chocolate on my lips, but that is absolutely delicious. I get the really sweetness of the banana and just a little subtle sweetness from the maple syrup. And that's just really spongy and moist. And I get so much flavor from the oats and then that little hint of cinnamon. That is fantastic. And I could easily eat this as a breakfast or a snack or even a lunch. And now for a very insightful sugar comparison. A traditional slice of banana bread is made with processed white sugar as well as white flour. And it has roughly 24 grams of sugar, which is equal to about 6 sugar cubes. My recipe is sweetened with maple syrup and made with oat flour, and it has about 8 grams of sugar per slice, which is equal to about 2 sugar cubes. And I painted them brown just for the visual because they represent a natural sweetener. As you can see, this recipe is clearly a healthier option and rates much lower on the glycemic index. And in my opinion, I think it's even more flavorful than a traditional recipe because it doesn't have that thick layer of white sugar that overpowers all of the other flavors. Well, as you can see, this is such a simple recipe and I'm excited for you to give it a try. And I also want to thank you for hanging out with me in my kitchen today. And if you'd like to see the recipe card for this video, you can visit my website, gentletummy.com. And I also invite you to like and subscribe to my channel. And if you know someone else who you think would love to have a delicious, gluten-free chocolate chip banana bread recipe, please share this with them. And I cannot wait to see you in my kitchen next time.